Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video. This one has come in from LaserJetJordan. He's back with his next request, and this is one that I actually thought I've already done this one, haven't I? When I first read it. And yeah, I was looking through the channel. Nope, I haven't. I feel absolutely certain I had done, but nope, not there. So we are on the West Coast Main Line over Shap, and we are doing basically the entire length of it. So we are starting at Preston and finishing at Carlisle. So it's a journey of just over 90 miles. And the loco choice, he wanted to see the Class 390, the old Pendolino. And like I say, I felt certain that I had done a Pendolino run from Preston to Carlisle before. But no, I've done one from Carlisle to Glasgow, and I did another run which was somewhere like Hemel Hempstead to Coventry, so it's nowhere near here. But that's it, it's only ever appeared twice before. So yeah, it's long overdue to make another appearance. It'll be also the first time in a fair while that I've done one of these videos in a loco that is not an Armstrong Powerhouse one. How things have changed. Now, as far as the specifics, I've decided to set it so it's pretty similar to the weather conditions we have here, because I am absolutely fucking freezing here. So I thought, right, we'll make it winter, we'll make it clear. So yeah, I think that is one of the reasons why it is so particularly cold. And I set the time to 2 PM. I think that is pretty much everything. The Class 390 that we are in is using the GNER livery, Great North Eastern livery. It's not bad actually, but we'll get a better look at that once we have loaded it up. So speaking of which, let's get that done and get this up and running. And here we are. Now, because this is a Dovetail Games version of this, we don't have anything like as much to set up. In fact, that is pretty much everything. So let's take a look outside. So here is our Class 390. So I do like this livery here. It does look black when you first look at it, and then you realise no, it's actually a very, very dark midnight blue with yeah, the red finishing touches. There we are. It's a 9-car train. Everything all set up. So yeah, our destination then, Carlisle, 90.12 miles. Now I can't think of very many stations along the way that we could stop at. So we do have the green light ahead. That does keep changing actually, so I think we need to get underway now. And what we'll do is we'll decide on the stops along the way. Now, because of the weather, I don't think we'll be able to just put it straight at 100%, so we pass 47. Not sure what we have over there. There's a 47 behind these various trailers here. Nope. This looks like a 45. Yep, it is. Speed is coming down at quite a rate when all I did was have it coasting. So we're at 33% throttle. Apparently we are going uphill, but it's only a 1 in 501, but it's still enough for us to be losing speed. Anyway, we're in an 80 zone now, so let's get our speed back up. So I think we will definitely stop at Oxenholme because that's pretty close to Kendal, so that would be considered a relatively major stop. And we'll stop at Lancaster. That'll do, 2 stops along the way. I think it will be Lancaster we encounter first, and then Oxenholme, which, yeah, will be basically our stop for Kendal. So now in a 110 zone, let's get some real speed up. Nice looking train, the old 390, always has been. And with its tilt mechanism, we can keep this high speed, well, for a pretty decent amount of time as we go around any of the tight curves. I'm sure we will need to drop some speed in some of them, but we don't have to go too mad. We're at 110. Will not be long before we can take it up to top of the shop, 125. I am certain this train can do 140 plus, but as always the max speed limit forces us to be a bit conservative with the old speed. So here we go. Right, our acceleration rate from 110 up to 125 is seriously good. I think it's at least as good as the 800 series, if not better. as an 87. Might have been an 86, but in this part of the country I think it's more likely to be an 87. Approaching here, looks like a 125. Here it is, the old 43s. We do have some views from within the cab. Unfortunately, I think this is it. Yeah, this is the only view we have, but at least we do have a cab view. Or passenger view, I should say, cab view. There's one thing we are definitely going to have in any train in the game, it's a cab view. Jesus Christ. I do get the impression that old LaserJet Jordan is quite the fan of the Pendolinos. In at least a few of his train spotting videos, the Pendolinos do appear. He does seem to, if he does spot one, he will most definitely include it in his vids. And it's not hard to see why anyone would be a fan of them. I think these are great, these things. I mean, they're like an extremely refined version of the APT. All that's missing is it being able to do 155 mph, and like I say, I'm sure it can do 155 no problem. This 125 limit that it's kept to is very conservative, I think. Now there's a question that I put to Jim in, you know, as in Jim Plays, for when he does his next Train Simulator Classic video, which is to choose 5 locos, by which I mean any train, not just locomotives, that are currently in Train Simulator Classic that you think would benefit from an Armstrong Powerhouse enhancement pack. And obviously why you know, choose the particular 5 that he has chosen. Now, unfortunately, his last video didn't go very well, since we're passing here. Typical, it had to be in the tunnel. I couldn't see. It did look like a 56, but I suspect it was more likely to be a 47. So yeah, unfortunately Jim's last video didn't go particularly well, and it's not been uploaded. So we'll have to wait for the next one that actually gets uploaded to find out his answers to that one. But I can reveal mine, although the more I play certain other locos, the more I think actually yeah, they could really benefit from it as well. I mean, let's face it, I could have said choose 10 and we'd still, you know, it still wouldn't be enough. That certainly looked like a 56. In fact, it looked like one of the Romanian 56s that comes with the East Midlands coal route. So anyway, my 5, I chose 2 multiple units and 3 locos. The 2 multiple units, I can tell you, are electric multiple units, as we need to really get our speed down here. We've got a 75 mph section coming up. Got to brake really hard for this. Get this sorted out and then I'll resume answering the question. It looks like we've got Lancaster coming up. This is why the speed restriction. Now we're on a 1 in 100 downhill here, so I'm going to let it go beyond the speed limit, because we will be picking up speed, I think. Well, we're not at the moment. So we're on a 1 in 99 downhill section. I've got throttle going forward admittedly only 16%. Our speed is still coming down. That really does not make any sense at all. Right, so now we're starting to speed up again. It looks like we are going through an avoiding line around Lancaster, because this certainly looks like we're in the Lancaster area here. Yeah, this is Lancaster station we're approaching, but yeah, we're on a through line, so we can't stop at Lancaster station. So it may have to be Oxenholme. Look at the speed with which we're slowing down now. It's almost as if the brakes are starting if we go below 33%. Because that's slowing down a lot faster than it would be if it was normal. I think I've chosen the Duff version of the 390 to drive here. Oh well, a bit late now. So I can't remember the name of that river. I know I was told in a recent video as we come out of Lancaster station. Anyway, we're back on a 110 zone. Let's get some speed up. So, Armstrong Powerhouse enhancement packs. So yeah, 2 of my choices were multiple units, and in fact they are both electric multiple units. Not only that, they are both third rail electric multiple units. So yeah, quite a bit in common with the first 2. So the first is the Class 442, which I think is a fantastic loco, and I do think that Dovetail Games have done a pretty good job of it, but it could be better. especially in terms of audio and in terms of its braking physics, and also the fact that the Armstrong Power, the Dovetail Games one, only comes with one livery, and that's the Gatwick Express. It needs some variety in the livery there. So yeah, the Dovetail Games 442 is good, but there are several areas where it could be improved, and that's where I think Armstrong Powerhouse could come along. Anyway, we're in a 125 zone now, so let's get us back up to top speed. Now the other multiple unit, it is, to put it mildly, extremely unlikely that Armstrong Powerhouse would do it. Because Armstrong Powerhouse seems very reluctant to go near any locos that were built in the 60s or 50s, let alone a loco that was built in the 1930s, because my other choice is the class 402, the 2 Howe. And my main reason for choosing that, because we've now got to get ourselves down to 110, is that they could improve the audio, it certainly needs it, and again the braking physics could do with being improved. They're not terrible, but they could be better. But the fact that we only have the 402, so it's only a 2-car train, I think they could do like they did with the 170, where, you know, with the 170 enhancement pack they also gave us the 168 and the 171. So with the 2 Howe, you know, the 402, they could also give us the 401, the 2 Bill, and the 406. I can't remember what the other name for the 406 is. So we're going through Carlisle station here, another one we're in the avoiding line. So even if we wanted to stop there, we wouldn't have been able to. And also, going back to the 402, yes, they've given us the Southern Rail green and the BR blue, but they haven't given us the original British Railways green. So yeah, there are additional liveries that it can have as well. So those are the two multiple units that I chose. The other 3 that I chose are all locos. 2 of them are freight specialist. That was definitely an 87 that we passed there. So the first freight specialist loco is the class 58. That definitely needs some help. The braking physics on it are terrible. The audio is reasonable but nothing fantastic, and again it doesn't have much in the way of liveries. It comes with 2. It really could do with a couple more. The actual model itself is not bad. It certainly looks like a 58, so they don't need to do much with that. But yeah, the audio really needs help, and the braking physics need a lot of help. So that's why the 58. The next one, again freight specialist, is the class 70. Now this one doesn't need help as much as the 58 does, but again, the audio could be better. What we got coming up here? Well, that is a 58. There we go. I've not seen one of them as an AI train. Actually, I tell a lie, I have seen them, but only stationary. I've never seen one actually moving before. So that's a welcome sight. And coincidental, seeing as we've just finished talking about a 58. Well, I have. So anyway, yes, the 70. Again, braking physics really do need help. Not as much as the 58, but they certainly still need help. Again, the audio... Actually, the audio isn't terrible. It's not brilliant, it's not terrible. Could do with a helping hand, but not as much as the 58 does. And again, like liveries, with the 70, although technically we have two liveries, those liveries are Freightliner and Powerhaul, which are identical, and that's all we've got. And there are plenty of other liveries that the 70 has donned. So yeah, definitely needs some additional liveries. So we're coming down to 115. In fact, we'll take it down to 105 because that's coming up. So that's the two freight specialist locos that I would give it. And the final of the 5 choices is the 370, the APT. Now again, it doesn't need a great deal of help. But in the areas where it does need help, I think it needs a lot. Number one is to reduce the amount of cabin shake there is while you're driving it. It's far too prominent. So reduce the cabin shake. It may be able to improve the audio a little bit. It doesn't need a huge amount of improvement. Braking physics are absolutely fine, that certainly doesn't need any work done to it. Nor do the acceleration, the motors, the brakes, they're all absolutely fine in it. And obviously we can't have anything in the way of new liveries unless they go the fictional route. Because the APT only ever had the one livery. But they could at least enhance the audio. I say they don't really need to change a great deal. But I do think an enhanced APT would be, yeah, fantastic. Especially if they, say, reduce the amount of cabin shake. Right, Oxenholme station is coming up, so we need to start braking for this. This is going to be our one and only stop. As I say, we're stopping at Oxenholme basically because it's our stop for Kendal, and yeah, this will be fine for that. We're getting up this one in, well, it's one in 178 at the moment. It was steeper than that, but yeah, we're okay. Now, I was just thinking, one of the reasons why we were slowing down quite a bit before, I mean, we are on rather icy rails. This is a heavy train. There's no doubt that the 390 is rather heavy. Well, I don't think it's heavy enough to affect it in the way that it has been in this video so far, but well, you never know. So we're on 0% on here, but look at the rate which we're slowing down. That's a rate that we would be slowing down if we were actively braking. So there goes another 87. So yeah, you can brake here. So here is our one and only stop along the way at Oxenholme. Yeah, certainly the scenic spot. So that is Kendal down there. And away we go. Now, I did say that there were a couple of other locos that I would consider for yeah, being deserving of an AP enhancement pack. This is one, the 390. Get this acceleration thing sorted out, because yeah, I'm not sure any of the reasons for it that I've thought up are anywhere near enough to make up for it. I just think it's a bit knackered. I don't remember it being like that before with any of the other versions I've driven, so it could just be it's a fault with this particular liveried version of it. We are now in a 95 zone. But yeah, the 390 certainly could do with it. I do like the audio though, especially the in-cab. Not as quiet as a lot of the AP ones are. And the other one that I was also considering is the Class 55, the Deltic. I mean, again, I think they've done a pretty decent job of it at Dovetail Games. It's not terrible by any stretch, but yeah, I'm sure it could certainly benefit from a bit of enhancement. Audio certainly could do with some audio enhancement. We're coming off some of these curves, so we could get our speed back up to 95. This 1 in 127 gradient isn't helping either. So with most HSTs, the gradients doesn't make any difference at all, but it does seem to be making a difference to this one. So anyway, those are my choices for locos that I think would benefit from a Armstrong Powerhouse enhancement pack. But like I say, that was a question that I originally put to Jim. Well, I can now put it to anyone who is watching this, and I say this knowing full well that no one ever bothers to answer any of these questions that I put to the viewers, but we'll try it anyway. Which 5 would you choose, and why would you choose those? So, speed reduction is down to 90, which is fine, we're already below that. We are soon going to be going downhill. This could make it a bit awkward. Downhill section actually looks like it's relatively gentle. It's not going to be like, yeah, we're really not going downhill on any kind of really steep gradient, that's for sure. 1 in 200, it's actually steeper than I thought it would be. We're continuing to lose speed as a result, so let's get ourselves back up to 90 anyway. So max speed is going up to 100 and just under a mile and a half. Some great sights here while we're going through the Lake District. Entering the 100 zone. Here we are now in it, so we'll throttle up a bit, get us there a bit quicker. We're entering the 105 zone fairly soon. into the 105 zone. I was rather lucky to avoid speeding through there, but there we go. So we've gone through a neutral section, but unfortunately neutral section functionality has not been coded into this loco, so it has no effect on us. There's another couple of 47s that we just passed. Actually slowing down because it's got a bit steeper gradient, 1 in 145. So it could be that we are climbing up Shap itself now. That looked like a 46. So it's now 1 in 75 uphill. Try and get ourselves closer to 110. This must be Shap that we are climbing up now. This sort of gradient for this sort of length. Now we've got to lose some speed here, going down to 80 mph max speed. So we are fine now as far as the speed limit is concerned. So there you go, Shap summit is fast approaching. May need to take it easy as we go down the other side. So as we start to descend the other side of Shap, we pass another couple of 47s. We will be entering our 105 zone. We'll let the gravity do our acceleration there. So it's 1 in 126. We are in the 105 zone now. Okay, gravity is accelerating us, but nothing like at the rate I thought it would. It appears it did need a helping hand after all. take it up to 100. We pass what looks like a substation there. That may even have been a major power station. That's ridiculous. We're on a 1 in 125 downhill. We don't have the brakes on. It's on naught, and look at the rate at which we're decelerating. So the physics on this thing are completely bollocksed up. In fact, the physics on this thing are on par with the physics of the 303. Like I say, I'm sure it was only the it's only this version. I don't remember them being anything like as crap as this in any other version of this that I've driven. So it's only this livery. So yeah, don't bother driving the GNER liveried version of the Pendolino. The rest are all fine. Now 116, no it's 1 in 125 downhill. Thankfully we have a speed, max speed increase coming up in just over a mile. Right, let's get ourselves up in the 3 figures at least. certainly a long old downhill section, this. Just as we reach the, or very near the bottom of the downhill section, we have another speed decrease down to 95. Not ideal. Going down to 75. I wonder if that means there's another station approaching. Could be Penrith station. I'm fairly sure there is one there. If there is, we'll stop there, make up for the fact that we couldn't stop at Lancaster, and there it is. So yeah, we'll do that. And considering that viaduct there was named Emont Viaduct, you'd have thought it had been a bit more grand than it turned out to be. We are still, yeah, 2/3 of a mile away from Penrith station, but slowing us down to something fierce. This is 33% throttle that's applied and we're still slowing. So we have a 120 mph zone coming up not long after we leave this station. So that will be very welcome. Certainly looks to me like this station's big enough to take the entire train. Yeah, it looks like it could easily do it. There we go. So I'm pretty sure the doors are open. Yeah, they are. I can see them. So this is Penrith. Half decent castle there. This is not a station I stop at very often, I must admit. Yeah, it looks pretty good. There Okay, right, doors closing. Away we go. So final, well, it's just shy of 18 miles to Carlisle. Gone straight through a neutral section and it's had no effect on us whatsoever. I've had to ease off the acceleration, otherwise we would have been speeding as we entered the 120 zone, but now we can get some proper speed up. And we can then go right the way up to 125 in about a mile and a half. So I can't deny the 390 is a train that I do have a habit of rather overlooking and ignoring, and yet every time I drive it, even in a version where the physics are rather bollocksed up like this one is, it's such a great one to drive. I do really like the high-speed locos. Can't deny it. I wouldn't deny it. So, entering a 125 zone. It's not a very long 125 zone though. And we have to take it down to 110. I'm pretty sure the 390s have speed set control in real life. They don't in this game, so there's another area where an Armstrong Powerhouse enhancement pack give it a feature it's supposed to have. But the more I think about it, the more, yeah, I'd rather go with this than the APT as far as giving them a enhancement pack. So we're now down in the 110 zone. Thankfully this one is quite short and I can't for the life of me see why it's here at all. So now we're re-entering a 125 zone. Here we go. Alright, we have our trackside view. Good stuff. So according to our ETA, less than 10 minutes away from Carlisle. We are less than 10 miles, so yeah, not surprising. Speed reduction down to 100. Another 43. Granddaddy of the train we are in now. Into a 95 zone. It's a fairly short one. To a 110. Less than 5 miles from Carlisle, so I can't imagine we'll be able to keep this speed up for too long. Need to really start losing some speed now, down to 75, and then a mile and a half we've got to be down to 20 as we approach Carlisle station. 58 over there. Haven't seen any of those for I don't know how long, and then I see, well, ever, apart from motionless, and now I see 2 in one run. Yeah, ours is yellow. So we were still losing speed even though our throttle was at 33. We've got to go up to 51% throttle before we started picking up speed. And that was even still the case if we were going downhill. No shortage of 47s around here. So here we are. So that was Preston to Carlisle on the West Coast main line over Shap. Yeah, it's a great run. It always is, this run. And the 390 is, I mean, it is a decent train to drive. But this one, with the GNER livery, yeah, don't bother with this one. The physics on it are complete garbage. They're not remotely accurate. And it does rather spoil it. Now, if you use any other version of the 390, you'll be fine. It's just the Great North Eastern livery that is ruined. So only one speeding error on the whole thing, which for me is fantastic, especially as it was a 90-mile journey. But I do feel, yeah, I should have been able to do a clear run on that one. But, oh well, there we go. So, yeah, for the most part, that was a great one, that. So, there we go. That is this video done. And we will see you at the next one.